Hello everyone, it's Mary. Welcome back to the channel. We are making a slimline card today because I am inspired by the word vacation. I would like to go on one. I feel my soul needs one, but I have to wait a little bit longer to get one. But we will live vicariously through our card making. So I am going to pull out this Magical Day stamp set from scrapbook.com, and it's got a lot of cute sayings, and I love the little polka dot magic. I made another card with that as well. I've used this stamp set probably 12 times. But I'm going to be using this vacation die as well, and I'm going to be using some paper colored cardstock from scrapbook.com as well in the slimline size, which just makes it super easy to just get going. Now I pre-stamped and colored with alcohol markers those castles. I'm going to fussy cut this one out, and I'm going to leave a slight border around it. I wish I could cut this fast. That would be amazing. There would be no need for die cutting machines, I don't think. But I can't. I sped this up, of course. So I'm just going to use my little snips here. These, I definitely recommend a sharp, small pair of scissors to get into those little pieces there. All right, I have that cut out, and I am going to use my Distress Oxide in Mermaid Lagoon for all three of these different shades for the clouds. This cloud die is from Trinity Stamps, and it has a dotted line on it. But because I don't want my clouds to line up perfectly and symmetrical, I'm going to flip the middle one on the other side. By putting a little shading on the top of that as I'm doing, it kind of hides that it's the back of the dotted line. So it works out. Okay, I'm going to do some heat embossing on black cardstock with white embossing powder. So I'm going to pull out my MISTI stamping platform, and I am deciding here which sentiments that I want to put on there. I am actually going to put way more words on this card than I normally do. I usually just put one sentiment on the front, but I thought let's have some fun with it because there's so many cute different kind of sentiments in this stamp set. So I'm going to stamp out the magical, I think it's called Let's Have a Magical Day. Well, I guess we'll see it in a second, won't we? I can't remember. But I stamped that out. Oh, Bring On the Magic. And then I cut out the magic off of it. So you'll see as I put this card together how I'm assembling all these different pieces and parts. So I'm just pouring on my white embossing powder. Make sure you use that anti-static powder tool prior to even stamping it with the embossing ink, because you're going to minimize as much as possible that extra specks that I'm now using a dry brush to remove it on a word I'm not even using on the card. In fact, I cut off of the top of it, so I can't even use it on another card. I digress. Okay, I'm going to heat set this. Now I'm heat setting this on, you might notice this fancy mat I'm using. This is a glass mat that is magnetic. I will share that video and my review of it below if you want to check that out. It's gorgeous, it's fancy, and if you have a glass mat, you don't need it. But I love it. It's awesome. Okay, so I'm going to take out some of this really sparkly, fun blue cardstock. Couldn't tell you where I got it, but scrapbook.com is coming out with some glitter cardstock. I cannot wait to try that because I'm looking for some more glitter cardstock that doesn't shed, so we'll see. Okay, I stamped that out in the word vacation, and I love the blue that I chose sort of offsets the lighter colors of the clouds. Here you see me using my smaller Tim Holtz paper trimmer, and I am just going to line this up. I'm going to get right up against the letters because that is how I want these to look. So I'm going to do that with the Bring On the, which I'm going to put a little tag on the end of it. And I'm going to put vacation, and then right below vacation, it's going to say, meet me at my happy place. And then I'm going to affix another sentiment to the castle. And so we'll see that in a second. I'm going to put down my clouds here with some Barely Art glue. Now the paper pads from scrapbook.com, they are definitely not made for bases. They're made for to do what I'm doing, and that's die cutting or layering, because it's probably about a 65-pound weight. I would have to go check to be certain. But so it's definitely not good for bases, but awesome for layering, and you don't make your cards too bulky. So I love that. Okay, see, this is the one that I flipped around. So you can definitely see if you got real close that it was the other side, but with that shading on the top, I've sort of made them look like they go together. And so here, I'm just going to add my third cloud. I did not pop up anything except for the long sentiment because I just wanted to keep this as flat as possible. I'm just trimming off that bottom piece. This is my larger Tonic trimmer. And then I am going to use some small stamps in the set because I often neglect them. And so I've taken out the little star and some silver ink. This is pigment ink from Delicata. And I'm just going to stamp them randomly and all over the place. And that is going to add a little bit of an element to the back of the card. Almost like it's, up in the sky and whatnot, because there's clouds. I don't know why there'd be a castle in the clouds. I mean, it is a magical place, so you never know. And then this other one here this is a stamp that is like fireworks, so you can use different colors. I wanted to keep this a pretty simple theme, so I just went with gold and silver and blue. But that fireworks stamp is so cute because they're small enough to look like they're off in the distance, so I thought that was a lot of fun. Taking out my glue again, I'm going to put down all of my pieces here. And I lost the top of the eye when I was making my die cut. And so I'm going to use an alternative, and I will show you that. I don't know if I show it in the video, but it was just basically a glitter glue dot that I had laying around from like an old embellishment piece. So I thought that would just matches perfectly. All right, so here I put Magical Memories, this little sentiment rectangle attached to the castle, and that's just to add a little something extra there. All right, so I am lastly going to put Meet Me at My Happy Place, and I actually popped that up on some foam tape. I thought that was kind of fun. Did give a little bit of dimension right there. Lots of sentiments on this card, lots of action happening, but we're not done yet. I must stickle things. And so I am going to pull out this stickles, and I am going to highlight the clouds and the castle because it adds a beautiful amount of glitter to your project. You do have to let it dry, so if that's an inconvenience, you can use sort of like a glitter marker, and that will work just fine. But I love the look of the stickles, and so I'm just going to add that all over the place. I'm stickle happy lately. Love it. So that will do it for this card. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I will list below the things I used in the video as usual. I'll also put my Amazon storefront, so if you want to check out those crafty supplies that I've found for a deal and some alternatives, you can hit that up. And my Linktree link, which is where we can connect on other social media platforms. I will see you all in the comments down below and in the next video. Bye-bye.